Well, hello out there in Minecraft world and YouTube land. This is Fly Guy 737 or 737 Fly Guy as it is, but it's Fly Guy with another video in my huge test world that I've been doing. I've been trying to experiment lately with trying to work out how to make an automated nuclear reactor. Now, I've looked at Captain Corp, wonderful design that Captain Corp did with his automated nuclear reactor. Absolutely fantastic in every way. Unfortunately, it was also utilising the redstone machinery from version 1.4.7 of Minecraft, which was absolutely fantastic. I wish we could get the Minecraft machinery updated for 1.6.4. I use version 1.6.4 currently of Minecraft because it gets most of my mods and they're stable. So anyway, what I've been trying to do here in this test world is figure out how to get the first stage, the fuel rods, made completely automatically so they'll inject into the nuclear reactor when it's finalized. And I've been going over a lot of different nuclear reactor designs of people have got really high powered ones which overheat too much and low powered ones which tend to work really well. Some use MOX, some use uranium. I've experimented with both, so I'm going to here just try to show you what I've come up with. Now, this is rather intense, and this is probably not the best design. I'm sure that someone could come up with a better design than I've got here, but this is just to get an idea of all the facets of everything that needs to be done. So here we've got indigenous extruders, and I've just got a star pattern of 8 of them running, and they're just producing cobblestone. Alright, so they're just automatically producing cobblestone. What was that? Oh yes, that's alright. And so the cobblestone is then drawn out and stored in here in these chests, and as you can see they're quite full at the moment, so there's no production going on because these are absolutely full. If I take out a cobblestone out of here, then you'll see we've got increasing there, so its production is going again and it's coming out. So that's happening there. Now once they've come out, those cobblestone will then go down to these recyclers and the recyclers of course are producing scrap. So the scrap is there to then go up to the mass fabricator. The mass fabricator takes in the scrap and produces UU matter. The old earlier versions it used to produce a lump of UU matter. Now it's producing liquid UU matter. So this is now producing the liquid UU matter. So the scrap from the cobblestone produces the UU matter. That is now going across here into this fluid pipe into the replicator, and the replicator on this one is set up through the scanner and pattern storage here. I probably don't need the scanner and pattern storage now, but I'll leave them there. This scanned a piece of uranium ore, and the pattern is there. So what this replicator is doing is producing constantly uranium ore. Now I found here too with the overclocker upgrade in the replicator, when it's doing the EU, if you take it out it'll run faster, and when it gets up to the top the UU will actually run slow, so then you've got to put it back in to make it go faster. I don't know, something I'm not doing right there, so if somebody's got an idea of what I'm doing wrong there as to get this running faster, please let me know, because I'm still experimenting. I might have it figured out by the time I get the answer, but anyway, if anyone knows, please let me know. I'm not an expert at this, I'm not quite a noob, but I'm still learning a lot about. I've been using Minecraft for a couple of years now, but just experimenting with all the different mods and that and learning how to do things. So now the uranium will come out of there, of course, and goes into the macerator. Now the macerator will compact it down, of course, and convert it into the anyway, most are rated up, and that puts it into the ore washing plant, which will then give you washed, crushed uranium and some extra stuff over here as well. Once that is done, now I've got a water accumulator here out of Thermalcraft to give the fluid into the ore washing plant. I like doing that. It's automated, it's fantastic. And then the remnants go into the thermal centrifuge, and then the processed, washed or corrected nuclear stuff goes over to this cyclic assembler, which is producing the taking the uranium-238 and the tiny pile of uranium and turning it into purified uranium. Now, the rest of the stuff that comes out of the ore washing plant, you get from that stone dust and tiny pile of lead dust, and they're collecting. Now, I don't know what to do with those yet. I have no idea, but I'm sure I'll find some way of dealing with them. Anyway, the cyclic assembler, anyway, you know what I mean, which then produces the purified uranium. That then comes along and goes through into this little chest here for collection, which is nothing in there at the moment. Then will flow into the canning machine, and of course that purified uranium will then come into here and will fill up with the fuel rods and be assembled as singular fuel rods, and then they move on and go to this assembler where they combine with iron plate to become a dual fuel rod of uranium. And of course then we've got a couple of other things at the back here happening just to get the rest of this going on. We've got 4 more recyclers here producing scrap going into these 2 mass fabricators to help these 2 replicators along, because this one's producing just cobblestone to go into the recyclers, and this one is producing our iron ore, and that goes then into a pulverizer. And of course a pulverizer, you'll get 2 ingots for every 1 pulverized iron, or so I believe, and then that into a furnace, which they become then iron ingots, and the iron ingots come out and flow into these 2 metal formers. Now the first one, the metal former here, I've got set up to rolling so that it makes iron plate. That will flow across straight away into the assembler to have the iron plates we need for the dual fuel cells, but some of it will actually go over to this metal former, which is set up for extruding to make the cans. So when there's plenty of iron plates in here, the spare stuff will go over into here, and of course then we get our cans. So at the moment nothing's really happening because it's all full of stuff, and we're waiting on obviously we're waiting on the uranium here to come along. So that will come along and then go in and start everything off. So right now it's a bit of a slow process, but we have got 10 dual fuel rods. So that's the fuel rods done. This one over here is just a spare. I was mucking around there trying to figure something out, but I don't need that, so I can get rid of that. I can get rid of that. So that's the size of the scope of just. Now obviously it's done really huge on my end. I'm using solar power from Mechanism too. I love Mechanism. Obviously I've done it really huge to sort of understand how each piece works, each function works, and obviously there would be a much smaller way of doing this, and probably a much better way of doing it than what I've done it. But look, if anyone's got a better way of doing it, I'd love to see a video on how you've done it and that. But of course then you've also got to make the overclocked heat vents to go into the nuclear reactor as well, so that it's all automated and nothing, you won't have any overheating issues with your reactors. So if anyone's got a better way of doing that, please let me know. And over in the rest of my test world over here, I've got 2 reactors which are currently turned off. They produce around about 420 EU, I think, from memory. Just turn that one on.